Chapter 38. The Past. In the somewhat tense room, Jonathan said slowly, "Remember that you're a Lawrence." This seemed to be a compromise for the shares. Jean curled the corners of her lips. "Thank you, Grandpa." Grandpa. Joshua, who had been silent all this while, could not hold it in any longer. "Joshua." Alexander called out to him. Joshua looked at his father and held it in. Jonathan did not need to explain to anyone. He waved his hand and said, "All of you, go out." "I'm tired." "Yes," Alexander said respectfully. Then, he made the others leave. Everyone walked out of the study. Jean walked in front. "Jean," Alexander called out to her. Jean turned around. "Yes, you'd better behave yourself," Alexander threatened. Jean smiled and said, "Okay." Although she agreed right away, she was half-hearted. Without giving anyone any face, she left after that. Alexander clearly had some emotions. Jennifer whispered beside him, "Jeannie is still so disrespectful to her elders after all these years." Alexander turned his head and glared fiercely at her. Jennifer immediately shut up. Alexander said, "It's time to go to work." As he said that, he strode away. Jennifer signaled Joshua to follow. In the corridor of the Lawrence family's residence, only Jennifer and Jasmine were left. Jasmine was driven mad. She was about to speak when Jennifer called out to her, "Let's talk in your room." The two of them returned to Jasmine's room. Jasmine could not hold it in any longer. She could not take it anymore and shouted, "What's so great about Jean? What right does she have to be so arrogant in front of Grandpa and Dad? What right does she have to be so fierce to me?" She was so angry that her eyes were red. Jennifer was also fuming at that moment. She said, "We can't underestimate this woman. What's so great about her? It's just that she was lucky and that the Locks happened to be going bankrupt. Otherwise, she would have been beaten to death." Jasmine said fiercely as if she did not care about Jean at all. "It won't be that simple," Jennifer said. "Anyway, Dad doesn't like her. 7 years ago, Dad was able to hit her so hard and even chased her out of the house. What can she do now? It's true that your dad doesn't like Jean, but it's not her problem. It's her mother," Jennifer said suddenly. "What?" Jasmine did not know much about what happened to the previous generation. Jean's mom is a business prodigy. She helped the Lawrences develop when the Lawrences were on the brink of crisis. The Lawrences maintained as one of the 12 great families because of her ability. However, she was also too capable. Although Jean's mom didn't have any shares, the Lawrence enterprise was still under her control. Your dad didn't have any say in the company. Not only that, but Jean's mother didn't give face to him on many occasions. Over time, he no longer had any feelings for her. He even started to hate her. Jean is very similar to her mother, so your dad doesn't like her, Jennifer explained. "I'm a little confused. When we became members of the Lawrences that year, I didn't see how much Dad hated Jean." Jasmine recalled. At that time, Jean's mother had passed away. Why did Dad still treat Jean well? He even tolerated her temper many times. That was because of Eden's existence, Jennifer said bluntly. When Jean's mom passed away that year, at the funeral, Jean and Eden got to know each other. Eden said in front of everyone that he wanted to protect Jean. Your dad saw that Jean had hooked up with the eldest young master of the Swans. He thought that he could use this relationship to interact with the Swans, so of course, he didn't do anything to Jean. I see. No wonder when Jean fell out with Eden back then, Dad hit her like that. He probably wanted to vent all the grievances he had suffered from her mom. Jennifer nodded. So, Jasmine, you must remember that the Lawrences only care about benefits. They'll favor whoever can bring benefits to them. Right now, I'm really a little worried that your grandfather will see Jean's ability and use her to his advantage. Joshua has been doing nothing in the business industry. Mom, you're worrying too much. No matter what Jean is, she's still a woman. Don't you know how much the Lawrences value boys over girls? Jasmine looked a little proud. Moreover, I'm about to marry the eldest young master of the Swans. What can compare to the benefits I'll bring to the Lawrences? You're right. The most important thing now is for you to marry Eden without any mistakes. As for that woman, Jean. Jennifer's eyes narrowed. Since she didn't learn her lesson 7 years ago, I will let her understand the consequences of provoking me now. Mom, what are you going to do? Jasmine was full of excitement. You'll find out soon. A cruel look flashed across Jennifer's eyes. Back then, even Jean's powerful mom could not defeat Jennifer, let alone a mere little girl. Ellipsis. Jean returned to her room. George had just woken up. He rubbed his sleepy eyes and asked, Mom, where did you go? I went for a walk. There were many things she did not want her son to know. Even if her son was precocious. Oh, George climbed down from the bed. Next time you go out, call me. I'll accompany you. Jean smiled faintly. Why should she have a man in her life? Having a son was enough. Once her son grew up, he would bring her a daughter-in-law. It would be perfect. Her eyes moved slightly, and her phone rang at this moment. Jean motioned for George to go wash up. She picked up the phone. Monica, DMN, I was just trying to call you. If I can't get through, I plan to get a new SIM card and a phone for you. Who knew? The call got through. The person on the other end was a little agitated. Jean was speechless. Monica asked, did you see the news? Something big has happened to the Locks. I saw it. Jean appeared very calm. Serves them right. Monica cursed angrily. The Locks raised such a son and have such a disgusting mother. They should have been punished long ago. Jean did not reply. In any case, it was fine as long as Monica was happy. Speaking of which, Jeannie. The person on the other end wanted to say something but hesitated. Jean frowned. She could instantly feel that something was wrong with Monica today. She asked, what happened? Monica was silent for 2 seconds before her tone returned to normal. Nothing. I just wanted to tell you that the Locks are finished. Did you quarrel with Finn? Jean asked bluntly. What are you thinking about? Monica was being a little exaggerated. Why would I quarrel with him? We don't even speak much in a day. If you have something on your mind, tell me. Jean was very serious. No. All right, I'm going to hang up. My dad asked me to accompany him to the hospital for a routine checkup. Suddenly, Monica hung up the phone. The moment she hung up, she stared at her phone screen. She swiped with her fingers and opened a message. Monica, I'm back. It was a message from Michael. Monica, what are you standing there for? Get in the car. We're going to the hospital now. Monica's father, Gary Cardellini, urged. Monica gritted her teeth and deleted the text message. The past was in the past.